Hey guys, Carice back from 3thechicway.com. Thank you for coming back. Today we are going to talk about books. So I don't want to make this video too long because it's not like I'm talking about fashion or beauty or the kids or anything. But if you've been reading my blog for a while, you know that I love to read. I'm always sharing what I'm reading currently on my social media. Follow me, 3thechicway, all across the board. I brought the idea up recently on my Instagram stories to, do the books that you guys should be reading now. So I decided to do it in honor of Women's History Month. All the books I'm featuring today are written by women. Let's get into it because, like I said, I don't want to drag this video too long. But I'll get yourself a little beverage, depending on what time of day it is. Tea, coffee, wine. And let's talk about reading. Reading is so good for like your mental health, which is why I think I love reading more now. I've always loved to read since I was little. But I find that when I read before I go to bed at night, it calms down my anxiety. And I don't think about all the things I have to worry about the next day. Like, it takes me away from the problems of the moment. It's a good self-care ritual to, start implementing into your daily life. So this started because me and my besties have a bestie book club where we alternate buying the books each month. So one month I'll buy it, the next month the next person will buy it, and so on and so forth. And we are trying to read a book a month for 2018. So far we've done that. We have read our books for the month, and that's what we're going to start with. And I like to read hard copy books. I don't like to read books on the Kindle or on my phone. I feel like it doesn't give me the same vibe. I do like reading on the iPad though, I think, because the iPad screen is bigger. But I don't like to really read on a mobile device. I really like to have the hardcover of the book. Get you an Amazon Prime account, honey. Get your books in 2 days and get your life in order. I'm having so much books in my house now that in my next house, prophesizing this, I would like to have like my office, have like built-in bookshelves on the wall, because I would like to start building up a library for myself, for the kids. I think it's going to be awesome. And the kids love to read now too, which warms my little nerd heart. Like, reading is so fundamental, especially for children. Like, it takes them very far. So, I'm looking at my notes here. Don't mind me. So I want to start with the most recent book that we read for our Bestie Book Club. It was the book for March, but we finished it in like less than a week. American Marriage by Tayari Jones. This book, I finished it in like, I want to say 4 days. I take the train to work on the weekends, so I have like an hour commuting to work, and I read it back and forth, going to work, coming home. God, it was so good. Let me look at my notes and tell you what I want to tell you about this. Okay, so it's very well written, where it's captivating you from the first couple of pages. And that's how I can tell if I'm going to love a book or not. If I'm drawn in right away, you got me. And it's not for married people only. I put it on Instagram. People was like, well, I'm not married, so I don't need to read that. It's not about that. Even if you don't aspire to marriage, there's lessons in here that I think women in general can relate to. Like, are you a ride or die chick or not? I'm not going to give too many details away because I want you to go, obviously. I'm not getting paid for promoting these books or anything, but I would love for us to have like a community around book reading and discussions and, women issues and relationships and stuff like that. So even if you're not married, even if you don't aspire to marriage, there's lessons in this book. Relationships. You will be in a relationship in some point in your life, even if you don't want to get married, right? Are you a ride or die chick or not? And it deals with, I will say this, it deals with the fact of women being happy in themselves without having to get the ring on your finger. Like, the traditional ideal of marriage is not for everyone. So I would say that this book deals with that. Like, can you be content without having that paper, without having that ring on your finger, and being in like a lifelong relationship? Can that satisfy you as a woman? So this is an epic love story, as it says here on the back. It is a really good love story. It deals with love, the problems of relationships. It deals with in-laws and problems with that. That's like a whole nother thing too. It is part of Oprah 2018 Book Club selection. So Mama Oprah tell you to read a book, you go out and you read the book Mama Oprah tell you to read. Okay. This is one of my favorite books I've read in a long time. Like, it was that good. And Mama's O, seal of approval. Speaking of Mama O, the next book on my list is hers, The Wisdom of Sundays. Life-changing insights from Super Soul Conversations. I had shared this on a post I did for the MariaAntoinette.com. It was on my wish list for, I forgot the exact title of what I called the post, but it's from that wish list, and I'm not done with it yet. As you can see, this is my bookmark here, but it's not like a book that you sit down and read in one day. It is something that I feel like you can always go back and refer to when you need inspiration. Like, there are topics in here. Let me quickly. Awakening, intention, mindfulness, spiritual GPS, ego, forgiveness, stuff like that. So if you're dealing with something, you can always go back and refer to it. Different thought like provokers of today are in here giving their advice. And the feel of the book is very like expensive, and the pages are like so thick, and I don't know. The way this book is constructed feels very luxurious, and that's why I feel like it'll be around for a long time in your collection. It won't get battered and beaten up. Deepak Chopra is in here. Shonda Rhimes, Devin Franklin, Megan Good's husband, is in here with a word. Just really insightful. And if you're not like, it talks about spirituality, it talks about, you know, being here, like what is your purpose, different things like that. And I had something highlighted I wanted to share, like a little snippet. Your spirit is the part of you that is seeking meaning and purpose. That's one way someone can relate to that. Another way to understand spirit is that it's the part of you that is drawn to hope, that will not give into despair. The part of you that has to believe in goodness, that has to believe in something more. And that's by Caroline Myss. And that is in the chapter called Awakening. And I just love that because I'm someone who's always like fighting myself and trying to always be happy and be upbeat and be strong for everybody else around me. I think that comes from being the oldest in my family. So, you know, that really spoke to me about always having to believe in the good. And it's something I'm working on consciously every day. And girl, it's a moment. So I feel like I'm up to chapter about mindfulness on page 70. And this page has 200 and something pages. So I'm taking my time with it because I really want to ingest the lessons. I'm taking notes. I'm highlighting different things. It's a good book for referring to and, you know, keeping you and your spirit in order. The Wisdom of Sundays. Oprah Winfrey. So that is that. Next, I'm going to tell you to get Grace Victory's No Filter. Now, Grace is a YouTube phenomenon. She's the internet's big sister. She talks about body image, trauma, being biracial, and she's the internet's big sister. I found her randomly. I don't even know how I found her on YouTube one day, and I've been obsessed with her channel ever since. I love her blog. I love following her on Instagram. She's really hilarious to me, and I just love her spirit. And this is just like kind of like an autobiography memoir, but also giving you like how she's gotten over certain things. She's been in therapy. She highly recommends therapy. She had like a really messed up childhood, so she talks about how she deals with that. Dealing with social media, like being a social media star and like defining herself and stuff like that. And it's so funny that yesterday I was at work and she is in New York at the moment, and she had posted that she was in Hell's Kitchen, and I work in Hell's Kitchen. Like, I literally wanted to go and stalk her at the restaurant she was at, but I ain't that crazy, boo. Okay? But I really loved hearing her story. I really like reading autobiographies and getting nosy about people's lives and how they came to be. I feel like that gives you a better perspective of like how their personality is. So I really love reading this. She's so freaking pretty and stylish. Follow her. Check it out. Yeah, she has some like really crazy vagina issues, and she's not afraid to talk about them. So she's very open and honest. That's what I like about her too. Like, she'll tell you, girl, this coochie ain't working today because of this and this and that. And you know, sometimes we need to talk about things like that. Sometimes we need someone to open up the conversation about certain things, and then we'll feel more comfortable. So check out Grace Victory No Filter. She's in the UK, so I had to get this from Amazon UK. I don't know if it's in more places now, but yeah, really good read. Speaking of autobiographies and me being nosy, girl, Gabrielle Union, We're Going to Need More Wine. This was a quick, easy read. Also, again, I finished this in like no time because it was that good. Like, she's been through so much, and it's just like, well, damn, girl, how are you still so funny, so upbeat after everything? Like, she's so funny. I love her relationship with Dwayne Wade. Their wedding was so beautiful. She talks about that, the prenup. She talks about how it came to be, issues in her relationship. She talked about her first marriage, her parents' situation. Like, she's been through a lot. She was raped, girl, but she talks about being an actress and, you know, a black actress in Hollywood and issues with that and her career trajectory and stuff like that. So I really loved hearing her story, seeing how she's gotten to where she's gotten today. Of course, I wanted to hear about her relationship because, you know, I love all the celebrity gossip. But it's a quick, easy read. It's super funny. She's very lighthearted with it, even with the heavy topics. And I feel like I can relate to some of the things. We're both Scorpios. Okay, her middle name is Monique. My middle name is Monique. She's like my friend in my head. Like, I feel like me and Gabby could hang out. Holla at me, girl. Quick, easy read, celebrity. You know, I like to read certain celebrity books and see their story. So, Gabrielle Union. The last book this is from my bestie book club. We read this, I think, in January or February. It's New People by Dan Z. Senna. This book, like An American Marriage, deals with women being fulfilled within themselves before going into this long-term relationship. I did not like the ending. Well, people might like the ending because it leaves it up to your interpretation. So that was good in the sense that we had a really good conversation in the book club back and forth about what each person thought happened next, because it's up to you to figure it out. Like, what happened here? Like, did these people do it or not? Like, and some of the stuff I found very funny, like how she dealt with a problem in her relationship. She chose to like run away from it for a day and like go and do something really crazy, which I found to be very funny. Like, girl, who is doing this? Like, who is doing this? Like, is this real? People like the new people of Brooklyn, of New York, like, you know, the new Brooklyn that Jay-Z talks about on the 444 album. It's like they're in that. And it deals with how they are dealing with that, coping with that identity, race, relationship, love. That's what I'll say about this book. The ending, we got to discuss. So if you read it, let me know that you read it, what you think happened at the end. Drop me a line in the comments. If you haven't read it, it's on the list. So those are the books I think you should read. So I'm going to throw in 3 more books. I'm not going to go into detail on these, but these are like bonus books that I read last year. And I feel like you should read them if you haven't already. I always talk about this on the blog, Shonda Rhimes, The Year of Yes. Do I love Shonda? How many ways can I not love Shonda? Like, I work in television. She works in television. I need to work for Shondaland Productions. Like, that's how much I'm obsessed with Shonda Rhimes. Like, TGIT, you can always catch me live tweeting TGIT. Like, I am obsessed with her. So this is about her life, how she's reclaiming her time with The Year of Yes. I read this last year or 2016, and it changed my life. And that's how I've been taking ever. I think I read it in 2016 because I took my blog seriously in 2016. And ever since then, opportunities have been rolling in for your girl because of this mindset. So I think everyone should read it if you haven't. I'm going to tell you to read Issa Rae's Awkward Black Girl because Issa Rae is like literally gold. She started on YouTube and now you know her story. She's HBO's crown glory right now. She has Insecure, and I think this book is hilarious. Another hilarious book I'm going to tell you to read is I'm Judging You by Luvvie Ajayi. She is the Do Better Manual queen, and this is a book about her Nigerian life, growing up in America, dealing with social media, being a writer, everything like that. And I love this because, as you all know, my husband is Nigerian, so I can relate to so much of what she was talking about up in here. I was like, girl, yes, they're always late. Why are y'all always late? Why? Niger people, let's get it together. So I love this. And those are the 3 bonus books. I read these like over the past 2 years, but I feel like if you haven't read them, you should be reading them. So I hope you like these book selections. Let me know if you've read anything. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a virtual book club conversation going. I'm probably going to update you like every 2 or 3 months on the books I've been reading. And let's have a conversation. Let me know what y'all reading. Do y'all like to read? When do you read? Is reading important to you? Do you read with your kids? Let's talk, people. Let's chat. Holla at me in the comments. This will be on throughthechicway.com. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Holla at your girl.